Hello there, you're now with me, Handy Gui, and welcome to your 5 p.m. English news on TVS. Now let's dive into the headlines for today. The Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Program, which started from June 30th to July 3rd in Laos, is crucial to elevate business activities that were halted due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And according to Deputy Limbang resident Sebi Abang, the local economic growth was disrupted for 2 years and is now being redeveloped through various programs organized by the government.
Kita sangat menyerulah kepada semua penduduk di sekitar Lawas ini untuk sama-sama memeriahkan program yang begitu bermakna kepada kita di Lawas ini, khususnya menampilkan produk-produk dan juga jualan-jualan yang mana mereka mengusahakan selama ini. So dengan adanya berbuat demikian, ianya secara tak langsung akan membuka peluang-peluang perniagaan khususnya di Lawas ini dan juga sebagai bagi menggerakkan aktiviti-aktiviti pengusaha kita yang sekian lama setelah 2 tahun kita di bawah MCO.
The SMEs program began on Thursday with the pre-launch by SEBI, followed by the opening ceremony on July 2nd by the Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan. The program will also be attended by the Deputy Minister of Transport, Dato' Henry Sum Agong, Deputy Minister of International Trade and Investment, Dato' Dr. Malcolm Musen Lamoh, Dato' Naroden Majais, and the Consul General of the Republic of Indonesia. SEBI, who is also chairman of the Limbang Division Consumer Affairs Council, said close cooperation between industry players and the relevant government agencies is important for the revival of the local economy.
Impaknya tidak lain tidak bukan adalah untuk menggerakkan ekonomi setempat. Sebab tanpa aktiviti yang melibatkan semua pihak dan juga agensi kerajaan khususnya, aktiviti-aktiviti perniagaan ini dah tentulah payah untuk digerakkan. So dengan adanya kesatuan di kalangan semua pihak menerusi PMKS ini, insyaAllah ianya akan menggerakkan aktiviti setempat khususnya di Lawas ini, insyaAllah.
Now, Dato' Amar Jau Samion, 64, retired as Sarawak State Secretary on Thursday, June 30th, a post he held since August 22, 2019, and served in the state civil service for more than 42 years. Deputy State Secretary for Economic Planning and Development, Dato' Sri Mohammed Abu Bakar Marzuki, would be taking over his duty as Acting State Secretary.
Jau was the second Iban ethnic civil servant to hold the position of Sarawak State Secretary after his appointment was evaluated based on his extensive experience in the civil service. He also served as the Deputy State Secretary, Rural Transformation from August 8, 2016 to May 16, 2019, before acting as the State Secretary from May 17 to August 21, 2019. Deputy State Secretary Administration Dato' Ik Pahon Joyik, heads of unit under the Sarawak Premier's Department, witnessed the handing over ceremony at Wisma Bapa on Thursday. Jau also handed over duties of the Immigration and Labour Management Unit, ILMU, to Abu Bakar, a management unit set up in October last year to facilitate the entry of foreigners into the state and to strengthen the security of Sarawak.
Now, Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia SPM is the penultimate examination that creates a pathway for all school leavers, whether into further education or employment. However, an issue was faced by a student from Bintulu, Raden Zul Iskandar Raden Bustari, an 18-year-old who was given T grades, which is considered as absent even though he sat for the examination. The issue was then solved by his mother, who fought vigorously for her son's future education.
According to the mother, Dayang Raudiah Awang Mahmud, the issue was finally solved by the Malaysian Examination Board (LPM). Her son was a former student at a private institutional, Tahfiz bin Tulu.
Ujian anaknya akan diangkut oleh van daripada institut lah, sebab tidaknya ada 11 orang juga dalam institut yang menduduki peperiksaan SPM.T. Jadi tidaknya setiap kali yang hantar pergi sekolah, memang cikgu tidak akan update dalam grup WhatsApp family lah. Tidaknya Tok dah dihantar, dah diambil balik. Dan bila ada lisannya dihantar, diambil balik. So, there's no such thing that si datang dan si hadir lah.
Dayang posted on Facebook regarding the matter and lodged a police report after a month of no feedback. She said her son was at first optimistic. However, he missed out on applying for public universities after not receiving his SPM result within the time frame set. Dayang received help from several parties, including her son's teacher, to obtain the certificate.
Daripada kejadian tadi, bila kami madah dengan mesej kami dengan cikgunya pun dah nerima daripada anak kami yang jawapan kali keduanya si hadir juga dia pun terus berhubung kepada pegawai unit peperiksaan. Lepas pegawai unit peperiksaan terus buat bantahan semula dengan dekat sidak kementerian lah.
Once the issue was highlighted, Raden received an email to get his new SPM slip at school. Raden scored excellent results with 3 A's and 2 B's. With his certificate, Raden pointed out that he is keen on pursuing law at the International Islamic University Malaysia, Selangor.
Advice parents lah, kalau berlaku benda-benda yang agak luar biasa macam tu, kita sebagai parents, kita boleh just tunggu aja. Dah kita nak pergi rujuk dengan orang yang tertentu, lepas tu kita tunggu je, kita sit fight. So macam kami call pergi Lembaga Peperiksaan Malaysia, kami call pergi UPU, semua tempat kami call just to get more info and then cuba cari jalan penyelesaian.
Dayang suggested that MOE should re-evaluate the system of marking exam papers similar to the ones before it was changed to online. She calls upon parents who are residing in rural areas to have an awareness of how to secure their children's future through the relevant agencies.
A mother held back tears upon hearing her late daughter's name being called at the 27th University Malaysia Sarawak UNIMAS commemorative convocation ceremony held recently. Nur Saleha Noor received the scroll on behalf of her daughter, Nur Nadia Nazira, who passed away from COVID-19 in 2020. Her late daughter was studying degree in computational science in the Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology. Thank you for staying with me. Now, the Companies Commission of Malaysia (SSM) has extended the compound reduction incentive under the Companies Act 1965 to October 31st, 2022.
The SSM had introduced the incentive on March 1st to be effective until June 30th, 2020. Through the incentive, companies and company directors are eligible for a compound reduction of 90% from the original amount, applicable to all compounds issued due to offences under the Companies Act 1965. For further inquiries, members of the public are advised to contact SSM via email or head to any SSM offices.
Now wrapping up the 5 p.m. news, Wall Street ended the session lower on Thursday, June 30th, crossing the finish line of a grim month and quarter. A dismal coda to the S&P 500's worst first half in more than half a century. All three major U.S. stock indexes finished the month and the second quarter in negative territory, with the S&P 500 notching its steepest first half percentage drop since 1970.
The Nasdaq had its largest ever January-June percentage drop, while the Dow suffered its biggest first half percentage plunge since 1962. All three indexes posted their second straight quarterly declines. The last time that happened was in 2015 for the S&P and the Dow, and in 2016 for the Nasdaq. The year began with spiking cases of COVID-19 due to the Omicron variant. Then came Russia's invasion of Ukraine, decades high inflation, and aggressive interest rates hikes from the Federal Reserve, which have stoked fears of a possible recession.
We certainly could be in a recession right now. You look at kind of what happened in the first quarter. What pushed GDP into negative territory was a reduction in government spending as well as inventory investment in the first quarter. Consumption was actually pretty good if you look at what happened in the first quarter. But here in the second quarter, as a result of inflation, staying persistently high, there has been demand destruction. Higher interest rates are impacting housing. They're impacting consumer spending on discretionary items. And so, certainly that might be enough to put another negative GDP print in the cards for the second quarter, which would make that 2 consecutive quarters in a row of negative growth. But the reason we think it's likely to be mild and not something more significant and longer lasting is simply just due to the strength of balance sheets across the spectrum of consumers as well as corporate America. Really what puts the economy into serious trouble and makes recessions longer lasting is when you do a couple of things. One is you have significant pain in the financial system or significant pain on consumer balance sheets. And today you just don't have that.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. Just a click away by heading on to our website at TVSTVMY or follow us on our social media platforms. That's all the time we have for TVS News at 5. I'm Handy Gui. Thank you for watching.